Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day. I'm having a wonderful day. I just got done cleaning the chicken coop and run out. And while I was doing that, it just occurred to me how great my chickens look right now. But that hasn't always been the case. One of the big struggles that a lot of chicken owners will face is feather picking. And so I'm making this video if you are somebody who has chickens and you're struggling with your chickens pecking one another and just not sure what to do. So I wanted to make this video just to give some pointers, some tips that I've done, and shared some things that have worked for me. And I just want to encourage you because I know how frustrating it can be to have your chickens just pecking one another, and it's just stressful and you kind of feel helpless at times, and hopefully you'll find this to be helpful. So one thing to note right off the bat is remembering that chickens are very busy animals. They're going to pick and scratch at things. There's really no way around it. Chickens are not the type of animals to just sit around and do nothing and just lay eggs and not peck and scratch or forage. It's just who they are. They're just busy animals and they need things to pick at. I'm going to walk you through my chicken run here in a second, but before I do, I just want to show one thing that I have tried that I have found some success with, I think. So you can buy certain products, and I paid for these just because I wanted to try them out. So this is by no means like an endorsement or anything, but one of the products that I've tried is this. It's kind of just a spray that you hit them with, and it's supposed to deter chickens from pecking one another. The other one is not a spray, but it's more of like a purple lotion. And I think this works better than the spray, only because I have one chicken in particular. She's an Easter egger, and I only applied that purple lotion to her one time, and now she looks gorgeous. Recently, I had 3 of my 6 hens missing feathers, and only one of them is missing feathers right now. The spray is easier because you don't have to catch them. So like when they go up to roost at night, it's really easy just to go in there and spray your hens with it. So I'm gonna get into a lot of ideas in this video, but if you're somebody who has already tried to use all of the resources that you already have and you're looking to buy something, those are some products that I did buy and they have worked pretty good. Okay, so another thing that I want to get into is I did have one hen who just didn't make it in my flock. I had one Rhode Island Red in particular, and not to knock the entire breed as a whole, but this one chicken in particular was a big bully. I would come out here sometimes and there would be like blood, and some of my hens were bleeding from their heads. And after watching and studying, I found that it was this one particular hen. So guess what? She FAFO'd. If you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. So she's no longer here. She's somewhere else. And now none of my hens are bleeding because that was just one bad hen that didn't fit in. And sometimes you just have to take that step and possibly get rid of one of your hens who are causing a lot of issues. Another thing that I feel like really is going to be a game changer is if you are somebody who puts a heat lamp in your chicken coop when it's cold out, the extra light in there may entice them to peck at one another as they're sitting next to each other on the roost. One thing I'm going to try this winter is you can buy heaters that hang up on the wall of your chicken coop that don't necessarily transmit any light or emit any light. So that will be nice to, have it darker without them feeling tempted to, look over to their side and see something that they could peck at. It's just something extra that I'm going to try this winter. Okay, so now you don't have to stare at me. Now I'm going to take you into my chicken run. And here I want to point out a couple of things that I feel like have greatly helped the pecking and reduce the pecking in our flock. There's a couple of girls who are hanging out outside. They're pretty cool. Okay, so one of the things that you could be dealing with are mites and different bugs on your chickens. This is a common thing, so make sure you always have a dust bath available for them in a dry space. And I always put some diatomaceous earth in with their dust bath just to help control the pests. Okay, so I want to talk about their food. I get that there are certain breeds that you do need to portion control chickens' food with. If you have a breed that's pretty low maintenance, then and you can just kind of set out food all the time, I feel like having a constant supply or making their food available all the time is a great way to reduce their urge to establish their pecking order. Because in my experience, every time I would come and throw feed out, they would almost feel the urge to initiate their pecking order. And you know, you don't want that. So if you just put out a constant supply in something like this bucket that can keep their food dry but always be available, is one way you can avoid that extra fight in your hens. Chickens also like shiny stuff, so I put like pinwheels and got stuff at like a thrift store just to provide them some entertainment of things that they can peck. In addition to that, if you are someone like me who has a big garden, then you can always throw your weeds and your grass clippings in your run so that the chickens can kind of scratch through it, because as I said, they love to peck and scratch at stuff. So if you have produce from your garden, if you have extra grass, if you have weeds, they love to search through that stuff. A hay bale is also great. One thing I like to get are these flock blocks, which have minerals in them. They're especially great for chickens during the winter months, but this gives them something fun to peck at, and it's good for them as well. Okay, I want to show you this girl. This barred rock is the only chicken that I have right now who's missing some feathers, and you can actually see, you can kind of tell she has some purple left in her feathers. She is growing feathers back, but they're still pecking at her a little bit. She is the only chicken that I have right now who's really an improvement opportunity, if you will. I will say, even though she's not perfect, she's making great progress, and I know the things that we're implementing in our flock are working. Another thing that's important is to make sure that their diet has plenty of protein in it. So make sure that you're not just feeding them, you know, grains and grasses. They're going to need some sources of protein as well to grow their feathers back. So I hope I've covered everything. I should have taken some notes like a professional YouTuber, but I'm not a professional. So hopefully I hit everything. The biggest things to remember is that chickens are just busy animals. They're gonna peck at something. So you might as well give them something beneficial to peck at that can be a good use of time for them and maybe even help them with their own health. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to stress over it too bad. Just give them things to do, give them things to jump on, make sure that they're eating well, and they'll heal. I know the feeling of how it feels when your chickens are just like being total cannibals on each other. If you have one particular or two even that are not helping your flock, consider getting a replacement, because the reality is some chickens are just not good fits. It's just the way it is. So anyway, I hope that this helps. I hope it encourages you, and I hope it gives you a couple of things that you can maybe think about and apply to your own chicken flock. As I said, I had 3 of my 6 chickens who were missing a lot of feathers, and now only 1 is missing a few feathers. So I'm happy with the progress. I'm happy they're getting healthier, and they're finding other ways to spend their time other than just pecking at each other. And by no means do I think that I've solved pecking with my flock. It's something that every chicken owner is going to battle with and have to keep an eye on and try new things, experiment with this and with that. But right now I'm just in a very happy place, seeing the progress moving in the right direction. So thank you for watching up until this point. If you have chickens, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Maybe you see something with my setup that I'm missing as well that can maybe help me. So I would love to hear from you guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.